is up, PTU crew? It's Market Monday again. Yes, it's our time to talk about what's going on in the Pokemon market, things that I'm seeing, things that I'm kind of looking at, things that I'm buying. And I have an exciting announcement. I'm going to start a new thing on the channel. And I know it's like, oh, all these new things. We're trying to evolve. We're trying to really make this channel interesting with openings, market analysis, some different things other than just openings or just Pokemon hunts. We want to add some flavor, some different variety, bring some different kinds of people in. I know we haven't talked about MetaZoo market or the Magic market, but we will be talking about the MetaZoo market in the next update. Talking about updates. In the future, we're going to be doing a little bit of variation of what I'm going to be doing today, but we're specifically going to do kind of like what Heroes does for the Magic, for Magic the Gathering. And if you're not familiar with Heroes, it's a channel that goes over the ups and downs of certain cards in the market, ones that are going up and down more than $2. There are a ton of Magic cards. This channel is specifically going to focus on Sword and Shield. We might do a little Sun and Moon, but we're going to focus on Sword and Shield, era cards, and we're going to keep the eras separately, but we're going to do a top 10. We're going to talk about the top 10 VMAXs, the top 10 alt arts, the top 10 Vs, and so on, and we're going to keep updates, and we're going to track these cards, and we're going to basically be really in-depth into the individual cards, their card values, what's going on with them, the ups and downs of those. So on this episode, we're going to talk about undervalued alternate arts. If you like this kind of information, if you like, pack openings, if you love Pokemon, go ahead and click that subscribe button if you're not subscribed. And if you're already here and you're part of the PTU crew, support the channel. One of the best ways is to hit that like button and comment down below and engage. And I promise moving forward, I will engage with the comments a little more frequently and more sooner as they come in rather than every other 2 weeks when I catch up. I really appreciate all the comments, and without further ado, let's go. We're going to start at Battle Styles, kind of the birth of the new modern alternate arts. Obviously, there's some alternate arts in Sun and Moon, but like I said, we're going to focus on Sword and Shield. One of the most undervalued, it has been going up, but I still think it's an amazing card. I still think it's slightly undervalued, is the Empoleon V alternate art from Battle Styles. Right now it's at $42.10 as the filming of this video. I think it should be closer to that $50 range. It's a popular Pokemon. It's an amazing artwork. One of the best cards in that set. It has been creeping up lately. So has the Tyranitar V, which I still think is slightly undervalued as well. But I didn't put it on this list because it is going up. It has reapproached that $90 mark, and I could see it in the very near future going to that $100 mark. Plus, the Urshifus, both V alternate arts, the single and Rapid Strike, are only around that $14.50 mark. I think those are extremely undervalued. They're great looking cards. I know Urshifu is not one of the most popular Pokemon, but that set was kind of revolved around him. And I just think that those cards, artwork-wise, are really amazing. They are extremely hard to pull. I've only pulled two alt arts from Battle Styles. I've opened probably near 1,000 packs. I've only pulled two alt arts, and it's been the same single strike Urshifu V. So I don't know. I think those are undervalued. The single strike VMAX alternate art is only $31.77. The Urshifu, I believe that is also undervalued. If you don't have that for your collection, I believe you're going to start to see that one tick up a little bit. Most of the VMAX alternate arts are way more expensive than that. Obviously, the evolutions are way, way, way more expensive than that. This one, the Rapid Strike, I believe is around the 66, and I think it should be more towards that. I know the single strike is not used in the meta, or was not used in the meta as much as the Rapid Strike, but I still think that should be more near the $40 mark at least. I think it is undervalued and underappreciated. Moving on to Chilling Reign, the Blaziken has gone up to $150. I still think that card is slightly undervalued. I know at $150, how is it undervalued? I'm judging it out. One of the other top VMAX cards. It's got great artwork. Color really pops. Blaziken is a well-known Pokemon. With how difficult it is to pull and how of amazing card it is, look-wise, I just think that it should be kind of in that realm with the other top VMAXs of $160, $170. Actually, the Evolution VMAXs are actually slightly underpriced as well. But continue on with Chilling Reign. The Articuno, Galarian Articuno V alternate art, I believe is undervalued at $44.92. All the Zapdos is, approaching that $60 mark. The Moltres V is $120 something. I think that Articuno should be in that $50, $60 range minimum. I think a lot of these alternate arts are still slightly undervalued. Sticking with Chilling Reign, one of the most undervalued cards in the Pokemon TCG is the Ice Rider Calyrex V. He's on his horse, and he's got that little deerling walking into him. He's got the water. It's a beautiful artwork. I was able to pull this card from the Japanese set Silver Lance, but I still have not been able to pull it from Chilling Reign, the English version. It's valued right now $23.12. I did look for this card on eBay. I was looking to purchase it, and I really couldn't find a copy really under $30. So we should see this one moving here shortly. And a lot of the copies I did see had really bad centering on it. I know you could go over to TCG Player. The problem with TCG Player I don't personally like is that you can't see any pictures. There are several at that $20-something mark. I couldn't find any on eBay really at that price. They were all $25 plus shipping. And when you're looking at tax, you're looking at spending $30-something. Like I said, TCG Player is probably the better place to get the better deal on. You can get them for around $24 with minimal shipping or no shipping. But again, there are no pictures, so you're going to be kind of rolling that dice on what kind of card you're going to actually see, what is it going to look like centering wise and edge wise. As we move on to Evolving Skies, obviously a lot of those cards are really valuable. I do think some of them are still slightly undervalued. I believe alt arts in Pokemon in general are undervalued. They're extremely hard to pull. I know they're probably a decent amount on the market, seeing how much they print and how much is open. But the popularity of them, that's why we're starting to see them go up, and I think we will continue to see them go up as these sets go out of print, as the reprint window starts to close, and as we move on to Scarlet and Violet and we start to gain some time away from Sword and Shield. We're going to see these cards continue to rise. That's why I think it's important to be looking at these cards now and adding them to your collection now at these prices. I don't want you to FOMO over them, but I believe certain ones, especially certain ones I'm pointing out here, maybe now is the time to buy them when they're at their lowest point, especially those Urshifu Vs. I don't see them going much lower than that $14, $15 mark. Of course, I could be wrong. Okay, sticking again with Evolving Skies, the Golurk at $20.39. I know Golurk's not a super popular Pokemon. I think that artwork is really amazing. It's got a couple other little Pokemon in it. I just think it's really detailed. It has a really nice flavor to it. And at $20, I just think it's undervalued. It should be a little closer to that $25, $30 mark. Definitely one of the most undervalued cards. So moving on to Fusion Strike. As you see, we're kind of going in order. Is the Celebi V Alt Art. It's had a little bit of an uptick, but at $35.76 today on TCG Player market price, I believe that card should be well closer into the 40s, even than the $50. Celebi is a popular Pokemon. It's got a wonderful artwork. It's just a nice, really awesome card, and I just think at $35.76, I think that's really undervalued. Sticking in Fusion Strike, the Greedent V. I know not a super popular Pokemon. Really cool card at $12.88 is just disrespectful. That card should be at least $15, at least $14.50 like the Urshifus. It's definitely a couple dollars undervalued. But to be honest, I think all of those cards should be, any alt art, serious alt art, should be in the mid-20s. And when I say serious alt art, I'm referring to, it is an alt art, the Sandaconda V, the bastard of all the alt art worlds. It was a special promo in Japan, and they brought it in Fusion Strike, that largest set of all time, because they had to throw everything in that set in order to kind of move on to close off the year, so that everything released in that year would be released in that year in English as well. So they kind of threw that, which was a alternate art promo in Japan, they threw it in Fusion Strike, and it's just got no love. I believe it is like $7 and change. It should be at least a $15 card. It's kind of awkward because there wasn't a full art V in Fusion Strike, but I believe they're going off of the Chilling Reign and calling it the alt art from that full art. They don't always have to be in the same set, because as you remember, in Japan, the sets are their own singular set, but in English, we mix them up and we split them up into our larger sets. We group them together. So that's kind of where the mismatch is. Okay, moving on to Brilliant Stars. A lot of the alt arts, I believe, in Brilliant Stars are undervalued, starting with the Charizard V alternate art at $196.69. Why do I think a $200 card is undervalued? Because it's Charizard. It's usually one of the leading cards, and we have the Giratina and the Lugia, which are outperforming it by 20%. I know those sets are newer and they haven't had a chance to get a lot of stuff open. They're still, because as cards come out, they start out really high, and then we go into that deep uncanny valley sometimes for a long time, but then they start to go back up. So they start high, they go down as cards get opened up, but as the set goes out of print and people move on, and the less supply is being opened out into the market, the demand will start to take over and the card value will start to go up usually, especially if it's a really good card. And the Charizard's been kind of up and down. The Charizard should be more than $196. It's an amazing card. It's amazing artwork. It's one of the flagship Pokemon of Pokemon, the most popular Pokemon of Pokemon besides Pikachu. And it's undervalued. Same with the Arceus V at $39.92. Pretty cool Pokemon. Is popular. Has its own little special UPC, which we will be opening on the channel here soon. Undervalued at $39.92. The Lumineon, extremely undervalued. The Lumineon V alternate art at $23.76. The Honchkrow at $15.57. Also underpriced. The Sui and Lilligant at $18.96. Disrespectful. The Giratina, $146, like I said, $38. In Os Origin, a little high for me personally. But that Skunk Tank in Silver Tempest at $25.14, and I know that card hasn't had a chance to settle in. I think, like I said, it should be closer to that $30 mark. Like all the other alternate arts should be in that at least $25 to $30 range, even the ones that are not as popular. So hard to pull. I don't know why people spend a bunch of money, pull a really cool card, and then sell it for $20, which I'd rather have a Calyrex V alternate art with a cute little deerling in it than a $20 bill. Personally, I like $20 bills, but when it's just one for the other, like I can get a $20 bill and make $20 like that. Getting those alternate arts is a little more difficult than that. If you like this kind of content, please remember to subscribe. If you made it into the end, put a pizza down emoji down in the bottom, because I'm hungry. Thank you for watching. As Pika Papa always says, you got to catch them all. Bye. Don't sleep on those alternate arts that are undervalued.